2,000 rows. If you look at your packet, it details.
Move we pass it on to the Finance Committee with a due pass.
Have a motion and a second. We have any questions?
Mr. Chair. Is this a employee?
What's that?
The corporation is for employees or something? That is the human resource?
I don't make the agenda. I just follow it.
Oh, I didn't ask you.
Yeah, this guy, I don't, it's not. Yeah. But all those in favor, let the number saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Appropriation ordinance to provide a transfer from Amendment 79 to County General reappraisal budget.
Move we pass it on to the Finance Committee with a due pass recommendation.
We got a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let the number saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 3, appropriation ordinance to provide a supplemental appropriation from 8014 County Reserve to Fund 1000 County General Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let the number saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4th is a resolution of Quorum Court, Jefferson County, Arkansas, approving the appointment of one member of the Board of Trustees of the Pine Bluff Jefferson County Library System.
Move we pass it on to the full court with a due pass recommendation.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 5 is a resolution of the Jefferson County Commission to create a broadband board consisting of 13 members.
Move we pass it on to the full court with a due pass recommendation.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who's second? Is that Adam? Or
All in favor, let them know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6 is an ordinance establishing and adopting procedures for the Jefferson County Quorum Court at all regular and special meetings of the Quorum Court of Jefferson County, Arkansas for the year 2024.
Move we pass it on to the full court with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. I believe that
okay.
completes.
Sure.
Next you have budget and finance, and that'll be
You know
justice.
what the vote was on that?
Or any of those? Well, I know there was no no's, so if there was gonna be a no, it would have been a no, so they all passed.
But to reflect in your minutes,
I didn't do a roll call because there were no no's, so it passed with a D pass.
Next will be budget and finance, it's Justice Ted Harvey.
Okay, Budget Finance Committee's call to order. We had 3 items that were passed on to us from the Human Resources Committee. You see them, they all were recommended to go to the full court with a due pass. Is there any discussion?
It is if you're trying to pass all 3 of them at one time.
I can, but I don't have to. I guess if you would like me to, I'll go one at a time. But it's not out of order. Okay, item number 1 was an appropriation ordinance to provide a transfer within Road 2000.
So,
What's your pleasure? Have a motion and a second. Pass it on to the full court with a due pass. All in favor say aye. I'm sorry.
Gotta have discussion.
Any discussion? Okay.
Okay, Judge, on the transfers, the budget that the set forward you had, that was where you had the money. What happened to change it?
The budget that we had it in place when I accepted you guys' budget that y'all did without coming back to us and asking, we had made some changes. And so since we was pressed for time, we just went ahead and I agreed to go ahead and go with y'all budget. The monies that we're asking for is no additional monies. We just need to transfer it from, put them in the lines where we need them at. So all it is internal transfers. There's no new monies. It's just internal transfers.
Okay,
I understand that, but I understand that they're transfers. I was just wondering if, okay, you said we didn't come back to you all, but we didn't know about that because you all made the changes.
It was, now we didn't, when you guys took it and y'all was working on the
Left
budget.
it as was. You said you made
Yeah.
some changes.
Yeah, we had some changes that we need to make, but for the sake of time, we just went ahead, when we made the discussion, to go ahead and pass the budget that you guys presented. It was two different budgets out there, and so we said, hey, okay, we're gonna go ahead and go there so we can get that budget passed for 2024. It had these,
But wasn't it the same as what you already had on the original? Because we didn't change it. We didn't change that. So the changes were made after. That's what I'm saying. The line items that you had, when it was, when
Yes.
you were given the budget, that was the way it already was.
well, I mean, I never gave the budget.
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about, we just went with your, we didn't change anything on it.
Yeah,
We didn't know about the new changes at all, so.
I know, yeah, but these internal transfers, what we have now would have took care of it, because those are the changes that we would have presented to y'all, but we went ahead and went with the budget, what y'all requested, and so we could get it done. But these are, again, these are just internal transfers. It's just moving money from one line to the next. It's not asking for any more money.
Okay, any other discussion? Did you have your hand up, Justice Adam?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Justice Franklin.
We've been asking for the past 2 months for bills. We came in January and the county judge came and we asked for a sum of $1 million in appropriations to the road department. And there was an explanation of unpaid bills totaling the sum of $1 million from the road department. I made a formal request here in front of the Quorum Court for those bills. It's been 2 months. Now, last month when we tried to do these transfers, we were under the impression that I believe Mr. Bullock told the Quorum Court that they were trying to pay for some type of equipment that was paid for out of last year's budget the same way. Well, we explained to Mr. Bullock that the budget that they have for 2024 mirrors the exact same budget of 2023. Now, the budget that we saw that came from the county judge's office for the budget for this year moved money from fuel and all other places, which made it impossible to go out of the year without having to come back and ask for more money. Now, without us understanding where this budget is actually going, we need to know, and I'm telling you, for my vote, we need to know what those expenses were to cover that $1 million that we just appropriated to the road department in January. And more so with these internal transfers, what are the transfers for and why are we transferring it? We can't control your department and tell you what to do, but when you start transferring money from places like fuel, and we know you can't make it out of the year with less money in fuel, and then it'll become all of a sudden a state of emergency, that's a concern, because what happens is if we transfer all these transfers to certain line items to do whatever it is that you're trying to do that you're not explaining to the Quorum Court, you'll come back 3 or 4 months from now with a gun to our head saying the road department's gonna shut down because we can't afford to buy gas. Now, looking at your budget last year, you spent about $415,000 on gas. Your budgeted amount was $350,000. $350,000 was your budgeted amount, but you spent $415,000. Not a problem. But when you put forth your budget for this year, you took several $100,000 out of your fuel line and decreased your fuel budget to $150,000, which is impossible for you to make it out of the first quarter of the year with that as a fuel budget. So my problem is that we're not trying to micromanage your department, but you're setting this Quorum Court up to have to appropriate more funding, which is probably not going to come from road department turn back money. It's going to end up having to come from somewhere else because you've overshot your budget. Now, I understand that there's inflation and things are going up everywhere. you know, but it seems that when we fix other people's budgets, you tell everybody, keep your budget the same, and the price of inflation doesn't affect any other department other than the road department. And I don't see that being the case. So we're gonna have to have some type of explanations for these transfers. What are we transferring it for? Why are we trying to transfer all of this money to this financing lease option, this finance interest option, or whichever may be the case, because it's not making any sense to members here on the Quorum Court. And we need these invoices to cover this $1 million that you claimed that was looming out there 2 months ago when you came in and asked us to blindly approve a $1 million appropriation, which we've been asking for it. And the answer I was given was, if you want to come to the road department, we'll load a truckload up of documents for you to go through. It's a simple scanning in of whatever the invoices were that was owed, whatever it was that was paid. If it was $1 million that was out there, I would like to see those invoices. I've requested as a member of the Quorum Court, and while I'm still here on the Quorum Court, I believe that I'm entitled to that for transparency's sake.
Are you finished? Justice Gaddy?
The supervisor, who is Mr. Bullard, he told us, he said that Miss Sandra, she was out sick. He said that. And he said the next meeting that he would have those invoices and she would have those invoices. Now he said that, y'all all heard him. I haven't gotten anything, and I don't think anybody has gotten anything, but he made that statement, not me.
Okay. Mr. Bullard, would you like to address that, or Judge, would you like to address it?
Yes, let me
Okay.
say this.
Mr. Chairman, I have a hand up down here.
I didn't see you, so I've already recognized the judge. I'll come back to you.
Let me say this. Now, Justice Franklin, I recognize that you would like to have these details and all those things. You say you're trying not to micromanage the departments, which that's not the job of a justice of the peace to do. In this, we're simply asking you for some transfers. Now you want to go back to when we asked for the $1 million and pay bills. We had details of what we needed those monies for, and we still giving you guys details. You can research anything that you need. Any answers that you're looking for is right down in the clerk's office. So on this, I find it really hard to believe we're not asking you guys for any more money. These are internal transfers at a request that we're asking, and it should not be a problem us asking for these transfers because we're not asking any more money. We're just putting the money in the proper lines that we need to handle our business. Now, Sandra, explain to them on the transfers why you moved from one line to the next.
We have payments on our equipment due April the 8th. And so I need to have my appropriations in the right lines so that I can pay them, because per the auditors, those are the two lines that I have to use to make those payments.
Mr. Chair. may I-
Thank you.
May I address?
I'm going to address Justice Carroll
So
first.
is it a
He had his hand
follow-up?
up. He had his hand up. Justice Carroll.
Yes, Justice Carroll, whether we can follow up with the same subject before we change the.
I'm going to let Justice Carroll now let you talk again. Go ahead, Justice Carroll.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. In listening to the conversation, the budget process, monies were moved around. But before the budget was approved, at the judge's request, we moved money back to those places that he wanted the money moved to. And consequently, because we moved so many, we addressed so many of these issues that the proposed budget changed back to the very similar to the budget that was presented. So the budget was not passed without making some changes back to what was requested by the judge. And I'm just curious with this idea that if the Quorum Court requests something, it is their responsibility to go to the various departments and find it. I thought, as the legislative body, we had the right to request any document from any department. And that department head or elected official, in their official capacity, was supposed to be forthcoming with that versus telling the justices to go and find it. I find that hard to believe that every question that we have, we need to go to each department and go through their documents to find the answer. So those were my two items. And one other question, Mr. Chairman. Where we're trying to put this money, what money was moved out of that line item?
Is that all your questions?
Yes.
Okay. Justice Carroll, I think the judge has addressed that it's an open door policy at the road department that we can do that. Now, if it's a mandate from you guys that you want it in writing or copies of it, I guess I would think we wouldn't have to have 13 copies made, but Judge, would you be agreeable to making a copy, or Ms. Sandra, would you? Just for their, to ease the pain?
The month of January, I paid out $1.2 million. And the month of February, $1.3 million. That is a lot of invoices.
Yeah. I think it would be a lot. I think it would behoove us that, I mean, we could have a special meeting to go down there and look at them if y'all would like, or if you could go individually, because like she says, it's going to be a major ordeal to print all those documents, so.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we should see if we, and let me clarify that way you don't have to.
Justice Franklin, go ahead.
What we are asking for, what I am asking for, is we appropriate $1 million, and there was a claim of unpaid invoices from the year 2023. Unpaid invoices from the year 2023. I'm requesting a copy of the unpaid invoices that totaled up to $1 million that we appropriated blindly in January. We were told there was $1 million in invoices from 2023 that had not been paid. Now, the dilemma is when you have a budget, you stick within your budget. You don't go $1 million over budget and then come in and saying we got invoices and hold the Quorum Court hostage with a gun to their head. The vendors got to get paid. But it happened. And I asked for a copy of the invoices, and we were told that that's not a problem. There's not some big storm of a mountain of papers or whatever it is, and it doesn't matter what was paid in January or February. What I'm asking for is the invoices from 2023 that were not paid, that the $1 million was used to pay for. So whether it happened between January and March and whenever the money was appropriated, it should not be a problem for them to come up with the invoices that were paid. If it was $1 million worth of invoices that we approved blindly on the judge's word, then just produce them. Now, The second thing is, Mr. Chairman, when the county judge says other departments ask for lump sum appropriations and they've shown no proof, when we start saying examples like that, we need an actual physical example, because I can't recall any other elected official that comes through here and asks for an appropriation and they don't show any proof of what they're gonna do with the money or what they're asking for. So if that is the case, then examples will help the quorum court to understand when did this actually happen, instead of just putting a wild accusation out there and saying it happened because it didn't happen this year, it didn't happen last year. Now,
Okay.
the transfers, going back to the transfers that are being transferred, why are we moving this much money within lines? We understand that there's no new money, but if you're transferring it to a lease purchase or whichever may be the case, the road department superintendent told us that we're paying the same bills that paid in 2023. So are we paying the same lease payments that we paid in 2023, or have we somehow came up with some new lease payments? Because if it's the same, then it's the same amount that's in your budget in 2023 than it is in 2024. So there's enough in the budget to cover the lease payments, unless there are some new purchases or something going on for $1 million that we're not aware of. So it's the same lease payments in 2023 as 2024, unless something new was purchased. So what I'm asking for is an explanation of why are we transferring nearly $1 million into lease purchasing when there's already money in lease purchasing, the same amount as 2023 as 2024. So what's the explanation for transferring all of these monies out of all of these other lines into this one line? What's going on? And that's the question.
Okay, Justice Franklin, I think we got your point. Let me address Justice Royal Johnson, and then we'll go back to that.
Okay. I think you said what you paid for January. She paid one point some million dollars. Okay. These 23 bills had not been paid at that time. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay, so they had to be paid in January.
February.
And she said, well, in February. Okay, she said she has a stack. That's an awful lot to get together. Now, me personally, I don't feel any elected official to come and ask for anything. You have to prove it to me, because I figure you're doing something wrong. The auditor's going to catch it, so you don't have to get. But if we're going to do this, then we need to make sure that every elected official, we send a memo out that every elected official has to have, when they get it, we make sure so we won't have to go through this again. So this is what we're going to do, so that we won't have to go through this, because we've never went through this before, and I know that. So if we're going to do this, if she says it's too much trouble. If it's too much trouble for her to get all the bills together, why can't those that want to see it? Why can't we go out to the road department, those that want to see it, and see it? Since she said that she has it there, she just made the statement that that's an awful lot for her to try to take copies of and bring down here. So if those that want to see it, there's not a problem. I'm going to the other department. I want to see something. So if you want to see it, because we're not speaking for everybody, because everybody I know that's a lot of work, because I was clerk, so I know that's a lot of work to get all that together. But then, if we're going to do this, let's make this agreement tonight that every time any elected officials do this, we want to have everything detailed to, from A to Z, so that we won't have to go through this anymore.
Thank you, Justice Johnson. Judge, would you like to respond to this overall and just kind of wrap it up?
If this is what's going to happen going forward, let every department produce receipts. I don't have an issue. This is the standard that you're going to try to put forth. Every department needs to produce receipts, then, Justice Franklin. And furthermore, when you said, let me correct you, when you said that you blindly, each month when we send these packets out, we send the explanations of what we need, and we even provide you the documentation. Whether you read it or not, the documentation is there. If there was some or information that was lacking, you asked for it, we provided it again in the next time we presented it to you in that documentation. So I beg to differ on that you blindly doing something when we provide you documentation of what we need and why we need it. And so that statement of you alluding to the fact that we are trying to hold the quorum court at hostage, it's a bold, false statement. We are not trying to hold the quorum court at hostage, or we're trying to pull anything over our eyes. I'm trying to run my departments, in which I have several departments. So getting into the daily operation of what we're doing and why we're doing this or that, that's beyond the scope of the Quorum Court. I must say that. That's beyond the scope. We're not here to tell you every detail of what we do. We're elected just like you guys are. We're elected to perform our duties, and we're performing our duties. And if we're stepping outside that scope, then the auditors deal with that part. And so, again, whether thoughts of mishandling money or whatever the opinions are, or whatever you guys think we're doing, we are open book, transparency. As a matter of fact, if you look on our webpage, we have a deal on there that deals with transparency, where we put out everything from contracts to everything on it. Take a look at it sometimes. You may find it interesting to know that we have a very well-designed website. So my thing is, I'm not finished talking. My thing
Yeah,
is,
but you're going to cut him off unless you give me the same amount of time, Mr. Chairman.
he don't have to give you the same amount of time. My thing is that, again, I'm not trying to be hard, y'all. I'll give you anything you want. All you got to do is come and ask and come and get it. But let me tell y'all something. And I'm sure these other elected officials will tell you the same thing. We have a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. From the complaints of the roads in your districts, to people coming to the office daily, my staff doing 2 and 3 different jobs because we're trying to maintain and do our jobs, and to stop and try to get receipts and things of that nature. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't have time. And I dare to say, I guarantee you, Justice Adam, you got a lot of business. You're self-employed. There's a lot of times you got work going on. You don't have time to stop and do some of the tedious things. I'm not saying that they're not important, but you don't have time, a lot of time, to fulfill every request that someone puts before you. Now, we had delinquent bills. We had to pay those bills. We told y'all what the bills were. We listed those bills. People came in and told y'all that we owed them money.
8 months down the road.
So you know, we could sit here and go back and forth all night long. This is simply internal transfers. There's no new monies. Internal transfers to take care of our business. And this has blown into a whole discussion as to why you need this, what bills you pay. That's a bit much.
Thank you, Judge. The chair's going to make a statement. We've had a lot of back and forth. I think the bottom line is, if anybody wants to, it's an open door policy at the road department.
You shut it
I
down,
don't think
we're gonna
anyone would have any.
having a conversation.
I'm talking.
I know,
I'm
but I'm letting
talking.
you know.
Okay, well,
If
why
you
don't you
shut
be
it
quiet
down,
while I'm talking? I
I'll
didn't
make a
talk while
motion
you
to
were
table
talking,
it.
did I? There's an open door policy, and y'all have already addressed that. The judge has addressed that, and that can all be done on a very cordial manner. And you can set up an appointment with them. Do you have a question, Justice Agee?
I just want to know how long we're going to discuss it.
We're not going to discuss it any longer. Okay, Justice.
So, Judge, on your transfer, if we do the transfers, the places that you're taking it from gonna be okay? We're not having that money in there.
Yeah, it's like it's a supplemental within the budget. We'll be fine. We're just moving those monies so that we can take care of the appropriate lines. That's it.
Okay. This discussion is ceased. We vote however you want to vote. All in favor, say
Make
aye.
a substitute motion to table it.
Any opposed, no.
You not make a
Motion
motion.
carried. No, you can't.
Nobody even voted yes, Ted. What are you talking about? Nobody voted yes.
Lloyd, why don't you back off?
Nobody voted yes.
We're going to
Stop
vote
trying
on
to force
it.
it.
All in favor of passing this on, vote aye. Aye? Okay. Any opposed, no.
No.
Okay, roll call. Judge, can you do it?
For the transfer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judge, can you let him finish the statement? We don't need to do that. Just let him
But the
finish
thing
the
is,
statement.
if they want.
Well, it ain't even him, it's hard. We got questions we can't get answered, we got a grand
We've
speech.
belabored and answered any question I
You
can
tell us
imagine. Judge is gonna make a roll call.
No, let him finish, let him finish.
I didn't know you'd want to, okay, go ahead.
What it mean was him, you cut it off, just let
Him finish.
Might not have any tape.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had your hand up. Go ahead.
No, he's saying,
Oh,
let him finish saying what he's got to say.
Go ahead.
we've beat it to death, but go ahead, Justice Carroll.
Let him go.
Let him
Let him go. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question of the judge, please?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
May I ask a question of the judge?
I said go ahead.
My question to you, Judge Robinson, is this. That if this item does not pass out of committee tonight, will then you have to go back and start all over in the HR committee and bring it back? If it doesn't pass tonight, would it then have to go all the way back to the HR committee and come back? Versus it being tabled tonight and being able to come back in this committee when we settle whatever the particulars are.
That is strictly up to the chair. That's strictly up to the chair. That's strictly up to y'all. But basically, remember last month, I wanted to hear from Sandra. Y'all wanted to hear from Sandra before you made your decision.
All
Right? I think it was.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
Transfers, that's what we voting on, right?
we asked for information from Sandra, and we were told that it would be here.
Okay.
Well, let me wait till my turn, if I'm gonna be permitted to talk again.
So, Justice Carroll, to answer your question, I believe, and repeat that so I can make sure I got what you.
I'm saying that if the item fails to come out of committee tonight, would you then have to take it all the way back to the HR committee, get it voted out of HR, back into finance, before we could consider it again? Or would it be better to just table it and leave it in this committee so that a special meeting can be held where this can be settled and moved on to the next level versus it failing tonight?
Any way y'all wanna do it, it's fine with me.
I think we've had enough discussion. I'm gonna call for roll call. Don't be calling me. What?
Could I please just make one statement?
Okay, go
I
ahead.
said one word, I just want to make one statement.
Okay, Dan, go ahead.
And it's just one simple thing. I understand everybody wants receipts, and I don't think that's an unfair thing to ask for. How you get it, maybe it's a whole nother subject. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, we bought equipment in the road department and to try to improve the way that we take care of our roads, to be able to take care of more roads. Of course, that's expensive, probably one of the most expensive things we do in the county. And I can assure you that you could talk to any constituent that voted for every one of us that's on this Quorum Court. And that's the number one thing on their list, is they want to have a good road to ride on. And
That's right.
if it's $1 million over, and we've got $1 million, I'm gonna vote to spend that $1 million on roads because our constituents deserve that, and we as a Quorum Court, I think we owe it to them, even though we're not totally satisfied with everything that was done, to appropriate the money to make sure that the county road department can do their job and fix the constituents in this county's roads. And that's my statement.
Okay. I think we've beaten this to death. I'm gonna take a roll call. All in favor say aye to pass it on. Any opposed, no?
Aye.
Okay, Judge, will you call roll?
Judge, just one more thing before we come to it. There really no need for us to be trying to table it. They just asked for a certain question, so I'm gonna ask my question. So if my memory serves me right, it wasn't so much that we needed all the receipts to it. I think it was professional services. You had receipts to everything that you wanted to spend it on. And I think that they supposed to be bringing what the professional services part was. And that did not detail into that,
Didn't detail.
Okay, let me answer your question. On the professional services was for Cato and buying of the asphalt, him doing the roads, that was what we had him under, under the professional services.
Oh, yeah, independent company.
Yeah, independent contract.
Well, see, I think everything else was in there, Pat. What?
It's nothing. There was nothing in there. There was no invoices, period, in
We
there.
had it under.
It was a sheet of paper of totals.
Yeah,
There was nothing in there.
What we had is requesting it on the professional services. And there are many times that we pay stuff out of professional services. Again, if you wanna see the receipts for Cato, we get those to you.
And we're not looking for receipts. I wish
what are you
people
looking for?
would stop saying receipts, because that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm
wanna know
looking
what the
for,
money was
I'm
spent.
very specific in what I'm asking for. I'm very specific. You came in January, you told us there was $1 million in unpaid invoices. Now, all of a sudden, when we appropriate the money in January, if it was paid in February, you can't tell me that you don't know which invoices from 2023 was paid in February of 2024. I'm asking for a copy of the $1 million worth of invoices, which was the money that you requested, what it was spent on. And the people saying that this idea that it's too much trouble to provide the Quorum Court with proper documentation and that it's for the auditors to decide. The Quorum Court sets the budget. We appropriate the money. This has nothing to do with legislative audit or whether you spent something wrong out of a wrong line item. What I'm asking you for is $1 million in invoices that was not paid for last year that you paid this year with the $1 million of funding that we appropriated in January because you asked us to. That's not a hard question. If you knew what the invoices was in January when you asked for the money, there's no way you don't know what the invoices are now. They didn't just magically disappear. They had to be paid within the month of February if you paid them. What I'm asking you is, where are the invoices? Because you guys said you would provide them. Now all of a sudden it's a truckload of documents and come to the road department. I'm not going anywhere. Everybody has a computer. Everybody has a scanner. You scan in our Quorum Court packets. You scan in anything else you want. Scan the documents in and provide them to me. I asked for it. Secondly, with this transfer, what is it that we're trying to purchase? I need an answer. In the lease purchasing line, are we purchasing something new? What is going on? Because unless you bought something new, you have the same amount of funding that got you out of the year last year as you do this year, and your invoices on lease purchasing doesn't change unless you purchase something new. So why are we moving almost $1 million to lease purchasing? What's going on and what's the difference? And when Justice Dumas asks you, if you move money out of certain line items, are they going to be okay? She's looking for a specific answer. If you move several $1,000s out of fuel, are you going to run out of fuel before the end of the year? Is this line item going to be safe with the projected revenues that you have in your budget, or are you going to end up coming back for more money? It's a simple question is what she's asking, and everybody's dodging the questions. I'm not.
You were never called.
Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hey, hold on just a second.
Give me the three answers.
Hold on just a second.
Never.
We've judged,
Three
we've had a motion and a second. We need a roll call. It's enough talk. All we gotta do is go talk to them.
Three answers, and we can't give them. It's too much trouble.
Yeah, get the answers to,
Well, yes, you do. She got her, he told you, he asked.
No, he went around it.
No, I don't go around it.
He said,
But I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this. The bills that you paid, the back bills that we paid, we'll produce them, scan them, and send them to them.
Either that or I can go to the clerk's office and get
Go to the clerk's office, get a printout to show.
So that's one thing that can be solved.
Just Franklin. So scan them, get a copy of them, send them to them. Now, Justice Franklin, I'm also warning you. Now, I understand you guys are requesting something, but you are very
past 2 months
infringing on the fact of trying to tell me how to run the office.
No, that is not. Asking for invoices is not. That is not. That is a lie. It is not.
When you start dealing with trying to get into the operations.
Asking for an invoice?
Official.
If you ask for money.
Borderline infringing upon.
Borderline. What is it? Either I am or I'm not.
Please call the roll.
If I'm asking for an invoice, I'm infringing.
Can we please call the
What we're
roll?
gonna do, I'm gonna call the roll, get them the bills that we paid. What we showed them that we paid, what we showed that was delinquent, when we gave them the packets, show them the bills that we paid. Okay?
Okay.
Now,
Okay, that all suffice.
Number two,
Yeah.
we
Call the
still
roll,
got
please.
two other questions, or we can table it. We're trying to
let
keep
me call the roll.
we're trying to keep from killing it.
I
And
think
if I
any,
need to do a
hold on just,
substitute
hold on
motion
just a
to table
second,
it
hold
till
on
Monday,
just
we
a
can
second. I think we
Listen.
beat it to death. I
haven't
think
beat it to
I'm
death.
talking.
The question
I'm
hadn't been
talking,
answered.
Justice Franklin.
The
I
questions
listened to
have
you
not
and I
been
want you to
answered.
listen to me.
Give the grand speech, Ed.
I think the road department has advised that anybody has any question, all they got to do is ask and go there. They will show them, and it's a cumbersome amount of documents that would have to be printed for every one of the quorum court members. It'd be, but anyway, we've got the motion and second. The judge is going to call roll.
Yeah, well, if we make a substitute motion to table it until Monday for a special committee meeting.
We're calling the roll.
There's
There's a motion and a second to table.
I didn't recognize the motion.
You don't have to
I
recognize.
did have to make, I did have to recognize it.
It was a motion and a second.
We're gonna finish the roll call.
Listen, we're trying to tell you, we asking you.
Vote it
Trying
up
to
or
get
down.
information. It's a substitute motion and it's been
There's a
seconded.
motion made and a second. You have
And
to
it's already got to vote
No,
on
you
that
don't. Not
first.
if it's a substitute motion. If there's a substitute motion and a second, you have to handle the substitute motion. Man, come on, we've been doing this for years. Because we're not happy with the answers we're giving and we need more information. It's period. I need answers and I want them and he keeps trying to end the debate. If that's what y'all want, I mean.
Vote it up
either
or
way.
down. It's been on here for we've been doing this for about 45 minutes.
It's a motion and a second. It's a motion
Call
and a
roll,
second to
Judge,
table it.
please.
This is a motion to table.
We got a motion.
This is a motion.
We're making a roll
is a
call.
motion to
We're
table.
making a roll call.
This is a motion, a vote for what, Justice Harden? Is this a motion, there's a motion
The
and a
motion to
second?
approve it or not.
You have to deal with the substitute
And
motion.
anybody can go there.
Just a minute,
Please.
just a minute. Why is it that you can't just table it? So that this can stop and the heat can go away and we do this Monday?
Hey, y'all, hold on, I'm gonna give you this. Y'all do what you wanna do. You wanna table it, table it. Do you wanna table
I
it?
just don't want everybody to get
Do
all over there and vote like.
y'all wanna table it? If you wanna table it, that's fine.
Till we get the information Monday. We need the information we've been asking for 2 months.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Let me ask one question. Let me ask one question to the road supervisor or Ms. Sandra. Can you bring the documents, one copy of the documents Monday? And everyone can take a look at it.
Email it.
I'm talking. Can you bring the documents to the meeting Monday? Anyone can look at it that wants to
Ted,
and
you
have.
want an email prior to.
Lloyd, will you just back off?
Well, stop asking for what we don't want.
I'm
You messing
asking
it
for
up.
her to
That's
do
not
this a
what we want,
solution.
Ted.
No, it's
That's
what you
not a
want,
solution.
Lloyd.
Yes, it's what I'm asking for, Ted.
You're just a dumb Lloyd.
I'm a dumb
God.
Lord. That's what you calling me, Ted. We calling
I'm
names
just
now?
saying it's a dumb question.
You call me dumb Lord.
We're adjourned. Bunch of crap.
You gave me what I wanted, you didn't have.
You got all you wanted
Tell
most
you what,
all the
call me
time.
another name again.
I didn't call you a
Yeah, you
name.
did.
I didn't.
You let it slip out, but call me another name.
I didn't call you a name.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I just said it was something, what it
You
was.
said dumb Lord. Go back and look at the video.
You said Ted this and Ted that and
No,
all
I
that.
said
You
Ted
out of
just
order
Harden.
anyway.
Say dumb Lord again one more time, Mr. Harden. Say dumb Lord one more time.
Oh, why don't you back off? We're adjourned.
I make that suggestion. I make that
Give me the documents I asked for, and he keeps just coming here Monday and have it. No, email it. That's not what I'm asking for. Do a PDF.
He can get what he asked for. All they gotta do is go ahead.
Oh, no, we're gonna move the money. Yeah. That other, we're gonna move the money, 513.
I know, but, wait. I know what your question is. I want you to think, I believe you, but I want you to.
Yes, ma'am.
You